you
this.
guys have been at the forefront of this for the past couple weeks here, and you've been taking the brunt of it. But there's just as many, if not more, Christians that are about to like come up behind you guys and start supporting you guys, start praying for you guys, start interceding for you guys, donating to you guys, whatever it takes, because Christ will not be mocked. Okay. And this is a spiritual battle that he will win. It's impossible for him not to win. We love Billy Carson and his wife and the people around him. We're not here attacking him, piling on, trying to defame him, trying to shut him down. Not at all.
It's actually the opposite.
Not at all. We love the guy.
Right?
We freaking love the guy, and we love the people around him and the people he influences. What we're doing at this point, we're on the defense. You guys are on the defense because he has escalated it so heavily that what else can you do but defend yourself, you know? But the Christian community is behind you guys, man. I speak for myself. Hopefully I speak for Dennis and our listeners. The amount of prayer and support that is coming your guys' way, take heart in that. You know what I mean? Take courage in that. Don't give up. Don't let him bully Carson you. Stand up for what's true, and you guys will be supported and rewarded, spiritually speaking.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Menace the Menace. Thank you so much for being with us today. We're super excited for today's talk with a new friend of ours that we've made. And before I get into presenting him, I just wanted to say thank you for being with us these last few episodes. We went live on our last episode, which is our very, very first live, which we're super stoked to have done. And we had some really great people joining us and comments throughout it all. I had a lot of fun. Ben, did you have a lot of fun? Wasn't it a
Dealing
blast?
with you was not fun, but yeah, the conversation was fun.
That's why I'm not married. But we had a great time. So thank you so much. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and tune in. Stay in this whole video. You are going to want to hear what we have to talk about today. There has been some drama happening, and we want to expose the truth in all this. So, but before we begin and before we introduce you to our new friend, Anton, I'm going to read something, and everyone just pay attention really quick. This conversation is based on publicly available information and records. We have made every effort to ensure that the information presented today is accurate and supported by the evidence that we find in videos and what we're looking at and seeing that in the public. The purpose of this video is to inform and to raise awareness about matters of public interest, not to defame or harm anyone. We encourage viewers and listeners to verify information themselves and approach these topics critically. The content herein is our opinion based on the videos and records and documents that we saw and does not constitute legal or professional advice. So with that disclaimer, we will be getting into some heavy stuff today. And that's where we introduce our friend Anton. Anton, thank you so much for joining us. I know you're busy. You have a lot of requests for people to talk to you. You're a very popular person right now in this world, and we are honored to have you, and we're so blessed to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you. Excited to be here.
Thank you. Anton, Ben, unless you want to say anything, I'd love to just let Anton kind of introduce himself and see, tell our viewers how he came about all of this. What we're talking about today is the whole debacle with Wesley Huff and Billy Carson. Oh, Billy. And based on their talk that they had on Mark, what's his last name?
Minard.
Mark Minard's podcast. What's that podcast called?
Elevating Beyond.
Okay, thank you. And they had a talk, and in my opinion, because I can say this, West destroyed. Allegedly. This is, yes. West destroyed Billy. But I just want to say that. But we are grateful that they had that conversation because a lot of truth was brought to light. So I'd love to dive right into it. I'll stop talking. Anton, take it away, my friend.
Yeah, well, I mean, where do you guys want me to start? Do you want me to start with the whole Billy situation, give a little behind the scenes, how that all started?
Yeah. Anton, tell us how the debates even started. How did
Well, what's your relationship with them, with Wes, with Billy? Let's talk that, because a lot of people don't know that.
That's
Sorry.
a good place to start. So, my relationship with Billy goes way back. I used to work for a company called Vibe Source, and it's a Instagram page that's still in existence till this day. And we would actually pay Billy to do promotions for different things we were selling at that time. That's how it all started. That was, I don't even know when that was, 2014-ish, 2015 maybe, sometime in that window there. Long story short, did that for a while, and then me and Billy kind of got a little bit closer during COVID. And the reason that was because I was becoming a coach. I became like a breathwork facilitator. It's just like an exercise to help you release trauma and maybe have a spiritual experience and whatever. And when the whole Black Lives Matter thing happened, I knew, Billy's Black, and I was like, hey, I'd love to help your followers. I have a service. I'll do it for free. I think people need this. Everyone's freaking out. I think they can use this to relax. So he loved the idea. I guided him in his, I don't know if it was his ex-wife or girlfriend at the time, through a breath work. He loved it. And he was like, yes, let's do it. Cool. So that's what like really started the relationship. I ended up doing it for his followers. There was like 5,000 people on the call. Wow. And got amazing feedback.
A lot of breathing.
And that's how it all started, to go deeper with him.
And then when did you guys kind of part ways?
Well, we never officially parted ways. Like it wasn't a like, I just distanced myself. I ran into Billy at this conference this year because I moved to Florida, and I started hanging out with him here and there. I always had a guard up though, because I just knew there was something not right about him, but I didn't even know what, and I didn't know the depths of what I know now. So again, I was kind of selfish. I was like using his platform to try to help people because I really believed in the breath work and the things I used to teach. And I still do, and an ounce of me still does believe in some of that stuff. But again, anything could be taken too far.
And then you started working with Mark at some point as well?
Yeah, so I actually met Mark at that New Year's party I was talking about. Where me and Mark connected. And we just hit it off right away. And just it was a God thing, in my opinion. And we just got really close, and we ended up having a meeting because I used to live in Boca, where Mark and Billy live, Boca Raton, Florida. And he ended up hiring my company for his social media services, and this must have been the beginning of 2023. And we've just always got along really well. In that time, I'd go to his house all the time, and this is when I was starting to become a Christian. And I just, there was so many moments where I was like feeling the Holy Spirit through Mark. And I was like, I think there's something to this Jesus thing. That was an equation in all of this because of how Mark handles himself and how kind he is, in so many ways. So that played a factor in, and I never really felt called to expose Billy. And like, people are like, how could you not see his con from the beginning? I like to see the good in people. There's a good Billy in there. I won't say there isn't. He is an amazing father. Like Elizabeth has a son that they didn't have with Billy, and Billy just took him in and loves him, and I can see that. And I've had dinner with them, and like there's a good person in there, and I'm the type of guy where if you're a good person and we don't have the same beliefs, I'm not gonna like demonize you. To like, my best friend is a Muslim. Who cares? He's a good person. He is a good person, period. Now, Billy has some very questionable behavior. I don't agree with 90% of what he does, but I think there is like 10% that is actually empowering people in a way. And I will never say that's not true, because I'm just here to tell the honest black and white truth on how I see it. So I didn't plan to make that video. I didn't plan to do any of this. But when he sent me that season assist and the intensity behind it, I was like, oh, you just punched me in the face. And my dad taught me something when I was young. And he said, look, you shouldn't throw the first punch, but if you get punched in the face, you punch them back 10 times harder.
Yeah.
And Billy's the type of person where, I know this might sound a little un-Christ-like, but you know, it's a bit of the warrior spirit mentality. Like, hey man, this is wrong. And I'm going to now expose you for who you really are, because I know who you are and I have the evidence to back it up based off what's publicly available. So that's where that video came from. And the backstory on that is fascinating. And I'll go into that now, because I think people will find it interesting. So when I became a Christian, I started to look at Billy's content very differently. And again, I never heard Billy say things like Jesus is crucified, crucifixion didn't happen. I didn't hear him say that stuff. I mean, he has said it, but I never heard him say it until he started going on PBD and some of the biggest podcasts in the world. And I was like, huh? Like, damn, dude.
Oh, so more recently, you've been hearing him say it.
Yeah, I never heard that in like 2017 and things when I was following him. Never saw that. I saw the alien stuff, the ancient Egyptian stuff, the Thoth stuff, but I never heard like just blaspheming Jesus in the way he does. I never heard it until recently. And again, maybe I did hear it, but I wasn't a Christian, so I didn't hear it, right?
It kind of just brushed off, you know, it didn't stick.
It didn't stick because it wasn't relevant.
I'm pretty sure I've heard him say that stuff for the past few years.
Oh, no. You know? He's been saying it since 2017. I mean, in my video, I show older clips of him being like, 50% of the problems on this planet are because of Christians. And
I remember that
kind of stuff. He's always been a Christianity hater, if you will.
Yeah.
But long story short, so I was like, okay, well, you know, he's very confident about what he says. And I've been kind of encouraging Mark to share more about his faith, because it impacted me off camera. And I was like, hey, man, I think this is a cool dimension of you. A lot of people don't know Mark owns a business in Ohio that has been working with individuals with developmental disabilities since 2007. He's helped hundreds of kids and adults, and he gives them jobs. And everybody in that space typically tries to like treat those people like they're not humans.
Right.
And they'll give them like a $3 an hour job. Mark pays them minimum wage legally, and he fought the state of Ohio and beat them in this whole lawsuit to like stand up for the children because and the adults, because those settings are very like corporate. But he's got this like awesome house in Ohio. It's like this huge ranch, and there's buildings you can work, and they got like all these play stuff. I've been.
Wow, that sounds
it's
amazing.
Beautiful. Like the people like attack him when he walks through the building, and they're
that's awesome.
It's a beautiful environment. I was there. I was like moved to tears when this is beautiful. You know, he his whole thing is like living the sermon. He's not going to tell you how Christian he is. He's going to show you with his actions.
That's awesome.
And I think that's amazing. So, anyways, I was like, dude, like we should talk about this. And I was like, you know, I've been seeing this stuff on Billy a lot, and you're a Christian, and you're also friends with him. And I was like, wouldn't it be cool if we just had like a debate, or not even, it didn't even start like a debate, a conversation. That was the original thing. And he was like, he just loved it. It just clicked with him. He's like, yeah, let's do it. Da, da, da. I was like, okay, I'll start preparing. So I was like studying Billy. And this is when I saw how bad it was. It was crazy. And then I was like, okay, he's going to come at Mark with some ammo. So I created an entire Google Doc. Jesus denies the crucifixion. Here's this guy, Wesley, saying that's not true. So I started setting up all these videos for Mark to study. And then and I was like, hey, man, study this. He's going to bring up 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 this. Here's how you respond according to some of Wesley's records and other people I told. Like, do your homework. So long story short, the day before the interview, he was like texting me. He's like, do you think we can get Wesley on the show? I was like, you can try.
Mark sees all the stuff you put together. He's like,
overwhelmed.
Yeah,
Dude,
exactly. That's what I
over
thought.
my head.
He's like,
Here.
yeah, oh shit.
he's like,
I was like, yo, I'm not playing.
can we just get the guy on?
Right. So he reaches out to Wesley, and Wesley answers.
Nice.
And Mark is of the highest integrity. And he said, hey, Billy, I know you're coming on the show tomorrow. We have this guy, Wesley Huff. He's going to help me and us talk about this. It's going to be less about me and you, and it's going to be more you and him, and I'm going to kind of be in the middle. That was
so Billy knew coming on to the show that the discussion is going to be about Christianity and the claims so he was made aware of that.
He just wasn't made aware until the day before that Wes was going to be on the show.
He knew it was going to be Christianity and everything religion, but he didn't know there was going to be Wesley.
Until the day before.
And we told him, the guy showed him, and he was like, whatever.
Okay, so he didn't push back. He was like, okay, let's do it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's important.
So they walked in and they did the dance, and wow. Now we're here.
Yeah.
And here we are.
And now we're here.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I mean, it wasn't even allowed to be posted though. Right.
Yeah. So here's the backstory on that. So again, this is Mark's level of character. We do the debate. We saw what it was. And as soon as it finished, Billy and his wife were freaking out. You can't post that, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, they were saying this like the day of?
The day of.
Wow.
Hours, minutes, literally after Billy.
And his wife saw it too? Was she there?
She didn't see it, but obviously Billy relayed it to her.
Got it.
So long story short, Mark's like, and this is when me and Mark started talking, and I didn't tell Mark what I knew about Billy Foley. I didn't tell him about some of the fraud stuff. And this was when I was like, dude, I got to come clean about this guy and what I know. So I was like, Mark, here's the facts. And I kind of told him, and he was pissed at me.
Yeah. You vouched for him. I mean, you brought him into his world and stuff. And I would see that.
I didn't necessarily bring Billy into Mark's world. They're neighbors.
Oh, okay.
But
right. They both live in Boca.
I didn't disclose everything I knew. But yeah. So anyways, so I tell Mark everything I know, and I'm like, dude, this is about to get really bad. Okay. So
Anton's hitting back.
Yeah.
His punches harder.
I don't like bullies. I really don't. It's not right.
Bully Carson.
Right. Yeah. So this drama starts unfolding. And again, Mark's super gracious. He's like, hey dude, I don't want to talk to your wife. Man to man, come over. Let's talk about this. So Billy goes over.
And they're friends. This isn't like
friends. They're friends. Their kids hang out. This is not a stranger.
Yeah.
And Billy goes over and they sit down, and Mark told him everything that is happening now. He said, look, Wesley's talking about this debate, man. It's actually in your this is what Mark told Billy. It's in your benefit to post this and just let it be. Like, yeah, you'll get some hate.
For sure.
Whatever. Mark saw it all, man. And he referenced some word. I forget what it's called, like the Strozen effect or something. I don't know.
Streisand effect.
Streisand. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but I think I kind of have an idea of like when you try to repress something. I don't know.
Yeah, but listen, it's because Barbara Streisand tried to like hide, I think, where she lives, because it was somebody found out where she lives and like people were touring by it or something.
Oh, okay.
And so she tried to suppress that. And then the information only like snowballed. And more people figured it out. I think that's what it was.
So Mark said that to him. And then Billy kind of like changed his tone and was like talking legal stuff. And Mark was like, you're not telling me you're suing me while you're sitting in my house, are you?
Jeez.
And he like said like Billy's whole demeanor changed. So again, I don't want to reveal too much there, but
sure, you
get the idea. Mark was gracious. So they had that conversation, and we waited an entire month, a whole month. People don't know this. This interview was a while ago.
Yeah.
But Wesley and me and the legal stuff, it was just like, dude, like, Mark, I was like, bro, I run your social media. Whether this is your friend or not, we have to post this. This is actually going to hurt Billy if we don't, because Wesley's not going to shut up about this. I'm not going to shut up about this.
So you guys didn't have, there was no kind of like contractual obligation not to disclose anything. There's nothing like that in place, right? This is just, hey, you want to come over and talk to this guy Wesley about Christianity?
It was literally like that casual.
Wow.
It was so chill. They're neighbors. Like it's walking distance. Like
wow.
It's so chill. So So
Wesley had like every right to post anything he wanted, talk about anything he wanted.
Yeah, I mean, he's a public figure. He used his time and energy.
Exactly.
And we also said, hey, you can use the clips. I mean, so it was again, Mark kind of being caught between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, dude, that's one thing real quick, that from the beginning, like when I started seeing this stuff pop up, I don't think people understand the position Mark was put in, where it's, hey, my friend, my good friend who I live next to, whose kids are friends with my kids, wife is friends with my wife, he doesn't want me to post this thing, but I've invited this guy on. He has no non-disclosure agreement, has every right to post anything he wants about this. Yep. And Mark's just stuck. Mark's stuck in the middle. What do? Do you
criticism from all the Christians, like you're supporting and helping this person get away with this?
For sure.
And then I was in his ear. Wesley was in his ear. I mean, his wife's in his ear. His wife was like, do not post that. Like she was not on the train.
Christians need to be a little more gracious to Mark in this whole thing, man.
Agreed, 1000%.
For sure. If you want to be critical of Mark, pray for him first. Pray for him first, then post your comments. You know what I'm saying?
Amen. That's a beautiful, beautiful way to look at this. So they have that conversation, and then me, Wesley, and other people are in Mark's ear. And I was like, so then Mark put a plan together for Billy. And he was like, dude, I kind of gotta post this because the internet is now, my reputation's being messed up. Mm-hmm. And Mark's such a good guy on so many levels. And he's like, dude, this is like horrible. Now everyone's affected. Like, Billy, let's just post it and let it go.
Right.
And we put up this whole plan. Hey, we'll do another and he just ghosted us. No response.
Wow.
Zero. So then Mark went another step. And the day we posted, he was like, hey, Billy, tonight I'm posting. Here's the details. Here's why I think we need to do this, and blah, blah, blah. And boom, we posted. And then that same night, ding dong,
That same night?
Okay, so you guys posted, that's when you posted the full video on Mark's channel, not the video Mark posts where it was kind of a teaser. Hey, this happened. Here's some clips. So that same night when you posted the full video, Billy shows up, allegedly, of course.
No, that's not allegedly. Dude showed up.
There's a video. Ring cam footage, allegedly.
Oh my Lord.
So he shows up and it's like 2:30, right?
It's 2:30, and then I look at my phone and I got
2:30 in the morning?
2:30 in the morning. And Mark's got kids, man.
Dude.
Like this was psychotic.
That's like threatening level.
Allegedly. Yeah, it sure is.
He didn't call him and said, hey, I'm coming over, nothing like that. Oh, okay, forget it. That's crazy.
Showed up.
Allegedly.
And allegedly. Actually, he may have called him, I don't know. He called me
before going to.
I don't. No. Actually, let me look at it.
Live on Venice Menace.
Live.
Alleged disclosure.
Now I gotta see.
This is gonna be
man,
evidence.
That's crazy. What a mess, bro. What a mess. How could you not realize that the bigger deal you make out of this, the more you try to censor this thing, it's only going to get worse for you.
Yeah, you said that, Ben, earlier, and you're so right, man. Like if he just from the beginning.
It was right after.
Oh, he messaged you right after?
Oh shit, I shouldn't show his number.
Yeah. We'll cut that out. We'll cut that out.
So on my end, you can see 2:45 a.m. So right after.
He calls you right after?
He called me.
Did you answer?
Did you pick up?
I didn't answer because I know what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
I had the breakdown, and I knew he was going to drill me, and I'm sensitive to that stuff because I went through a lot of abuse. So I was just like, I don't want to hear this because it's going to freak me out because it I don't want to be extreme, but sometimes this type of like rage, it feels a little demonic at times. That freaks me out. When it's so unconscious. I saw a lot of that growing up, and I'm just like, I know what this is, and you can't win with that. There's no conversation.
For sure. Anton, nothing comes out of a man that's not in there. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So you don't pick up. We don't know if he contacted Mark before or we don't know if he contacted him before. Did Mark show up to the door? Did he open the door?
No.
Oh, he didn't? So what, did he just leave the papers? Did he contact him later?
Didn't leave the papers, sent an email with a cease and desist, and then he sent me a text with a cease and desist.
Okay, so clearly the reason he ghosted you guys before you posted the video was because he was getting legal advice not to communicate with you guys anymore. Allegedly, supposedly. That's my opinion. That's the only thing that would make sense to me is he was getting advice not to communicate.
No.
But I don't know.
He was under what he was doing, in my opinion, was he was not seeing Mark as a worthy opponent. He was almost like, whatever. That was the stance. Like, who's Mark? That's what I think the stance was.
Interesting.
He undermined all of this. And he's just like, I'm not gonna let this go out. Like, puts anything out, I'll just sue him. Like that's how I've been working with these people my whole life. That's how they think. They see everyone as a chess game, and they use a lot of their money to cover up their dirty work, if you will. Yeah. So, and now we're here.
Okay. So video gets posted. How soon after? Because it did stay online for a little bit. People downloaded it. People commented on it. Reaction videos to it. How soon after did it get taken down?
5-6 hours, and I'm like dancing in my living room. I'm like, let's go, we posted it. I'm like so happy. I'm like, yeah. And then,
did you know anything was going to come? Did you expect anything to happen?
Oh no, I didn't know. I thought Billy was just going to let it go. Actually, no, that's not true. I had an inkling after like the build up. Like I had a bit of an intuition of something's not right. Like I don't know what it is, but something ain't right. And again, I've seen this behavior before from him. So yeah,
you know.
And so then you guys, within 5 to 6 hours of it being posted, you guys decide to take it down?
I didn't decide. Mark was like taking it down.
Dang. Do you think it had something to do with Billy showing up the night before?
No.
What changed from let's post it 6 hours previous to, hey, we should take it down?
That's a great question.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I do know. The cease and desist. Mark took it seriously, and to me, it was a joke. Because it's Mark's footage.
Billy had
their own footage that you agreed to go on their podcast. Like, there's no case there. I'm not a lawyer, but I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And again, he's done this before, you know.
Yeah, he wasn't forced to be there or anything, nothing against his will, you know.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And there was no agreement or contractual obligation saying like, hey, you can't post this without my permission. I have to do it first, something like that. What about this? Let me ask this, Anton. If I remember correctly, in somebody's video, they were saying that Billy asked for it not to be posted because he has an upcoming interview or debate or something with some kind of Christian personality. And the conversation he had on Mark's show infringed on that future conversation in some way. Okay. Do you think that that's legitimate, or is that an excuse that he's coming up with?
Come on.
This is your opinion, not making a statement of fact.
Opinion. That was the fabricated lie to guilt trip Mark into hurting their business. Because again, Mark's a sensitive guy. He's got a he's being bullied. And
bully Carson.
why would they not tell that before?
Right.
Of course.
Yeah.
Do you not know your own business, Billy? Do you not know that you have a contractual obligation not to talk about Christian topics, even though you're going on other podcasts and talking about Christian topics?
And that person is a man named Tim Story, who I know as well.
Who's Tim Story? How does he fit in?
The
guy he's supposed to do the debate or whatever with. His name's Tim Story. I don't know what he believes spiritually fully. Allegedly, he's a Christian. I don't know what type of Christian, but yeah.
I'm trying to
go ahead, Dennis.
I'm trying to see it from Billy's point of view as far as like just the progression of all this. And I'm not standing up for him. I'm just trying to, put myself in his shoes for a little bit to try to see if I can understand, his rage here, because, he was invited. I think that his,
he feels backstabbed.
He
feels backstabbed?
He feels backstabbed, even though he's the one.
Well, I think what it is neglect on doing his research on Wes. I think he came into it thinking, oh, Mark, I'll debate Mark. I'll put, I'll get my point across. It won't get heated. It won't get like he'll have the answers, right? It wouldn't have turned out like that. Because if he did talk to Mark about these things, I mean, I don't know Mark, but I don't think he's as knowledgeable in these things as Wes is.
Yeah, he would have got steamrolled,
right? So he would have gotten, in a nice way, steamrolled. But and it would have been done. It would have been just an interview to show again Billy's wisdom, right, and his greatness, right. And then when he was told the day before, "Hey, Wes is coming. Are you okay with that?" He didn't do his research, and he probably is like, "Yeah, who's this guy?" He probably looked at his follower count, and he's like, this guy is nothing,
It was like 12K
and
at that point.
His pride was probably got the best of him and said, "Hey, it's okay. I'll steamroll this guy too," or whatever. He probably wasn't even thinking that. He was just like, I'll handle myself. I can handle myself with these guys. But then he just gets, he gets to the point where he's like, oh shit, this guy's like the real deal.
Especially when Wesley said, "Oh, do you mean Codex Sinaiticus?"
Oh, that was like my favorite part. My favorite part.
that was like such a I hate to move. I have a lot of black friends, so I could say this. That was like some white collar, like private
crime.
School
white collar crime
whipping on the basketball court, like crazy.
Oh my gosh!
Like when you go up against
that's hilarious.
I was like, man,
that was my favorite.
And my black friend told me that. He's like, dude, you don't understand.
That was cool.
Like, this is different, bro. Like, let me break it down to you. Dang, you're right. Like, that's crazy.
Dude, that's so funny.
That's to me where I got my attention. I was like, oh my gosh. What's that?
It was the most polite.
Oh, I know. The whole time he did such a. It was the most. What Ben I think might have said like a Canadian ass whooping. It was.
Well, Wesley's not Canadian. Wesley's actually from the Middle East.
That's
originally.
That's right. Yeah, he lives in Canada.
He lives in Canada now.
Okay. Yeah.
Dude, we were laughing before we started. Did we'll get here. But the post Wes made about Billy Carson's threatening to sue me, and the thumbnail of the image is him with like a comb over and like a blue sweater with his hands like a little Christian like Catholic boy. It's incredible. Dude, we were cracking up, man. I'll put that in here right here.
It was so awesome.
How did Wes come? Did Mark reach out to him, or did you?
So Mark was like, "Do you think we can get him on?" I was like, "It doesn't hurt." And Mark was just like, spur of the moment, DM him.
Nice. And it came through, and he was on. Wow,
right away.
Timing of that all. Hey Wes, check your DMs, buddy. We've been DMing you
It's okay. It's okay.
He has like I don't know if it's thousands, but
for sure.
Oh, dude, at this point, we were talking about this before the show. Wesley had, I believe, I've been reaching out to him since he probably on Instagram since he had about like 12 or 16,000 followers. A couple days ago, he had 30 or 35. Today, he's got almost 100,000. This is the snowball effect of what Billy Carson is doing. He is adding fuel to this fire.
Exactly.
The harder he goes, the more people will talk about it. So the best thing he could have ever done, and listen, at this point, I don't think he could roll it back. I think he's got to follow through, right?
Too much pride,
so
man.
The more he goes, the harder he goes, the more people are going to talk about it. Even if you look at some of Wes's followers now, dude, there's some big names in there, and Wes will continue to talk about this. So I would not be surprised. Wes was just on the Julian Doherty podcast. Okay. That's got almost 1 million followers on YouTube.
Wow.
This is going to reach some pretty high level people. I would not be surprised if Wes ends up on some of the biggest podcasts in the world that Billy Carson was just touring. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've already set some up.
Boom.
Nice, Anton.
Yeah.
Boom.
And I was telling Wesley the same thing. I was like, bro, let me tap all my connects here. Let's do this. Let's do
Heck
this.
yeah.
Let's do this. Unfortunately, he's getting ready to have a baby, and
Who, Wes?
Yeah, his schedule.
I'll fly out there. I'll help take care of it. Whatever you need, bro.
He'll be the babysitter.
Whatever you need.
Yeah, he's a very humble guy, but I was like, dude, like my background in social media, I'm like, bruh, this is your moment.
Mm-hmm.
You go on
Not only his moment. This is
Christianity.
The Christian. This is the Christian moment. Okay,
baby.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't start fights. We finish them. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. This was never a fight, bro.
No,
you had
God,
friends.
Mark has been so kind.
You had 2 friends that were supposed to talk to a guy that just like knows Bible history.
Right.
Okay, this wasn't a contentious thing. You guys weren't like, we're gonna get him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Bring him on.
God, no, if you watch the interview, Mark actually took the side of Billy because he's his friend, not because he disagreed with Wesley.
Especially towards the end of the video. Towards the end of that, when he was talking about like, well, we don't have to go into it now, but
I think he felt bad.
Yeah.
Again, Mark's a very kind guy. I think he felt bad. He's like, I got to stand up for my friend a little bit here.
Dude, but it's like, okay, it wasn't there was no contentious intention, right? So it was to be friendly. It was just to be informative. It was just buddies talking. That's what people don't realize about freaking podcasts. Hold on. Like, it's often friends having a conversation as if it were in a public place. It's just that there's a camera there. So like, I'm talking to Dennis. I'm not trying to talk to the people watching. I'm talking to you right now.
Right.
I'm just curious in what happened. And the thing is, there's a camera here. Okay. So other people will see it inevitably. But if Billy would have just been like, oh, dude, you're right. I didn't know that those were forgeries. I'm sorry. I should adjust that and see how it affects my narrative, right?
Exactly. Because
if he was in, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
If he was in search of truth and knowledge, that's the proper response to have. Is thank you for this information that I did not know about.
Exactly.
Let me apply it to what I'm trying to teach people and help people with. Okay. Not the response. The response is cease and desists, legal threats, allegedly, not non-disclosures, but all sorts of actions that show that he's trying to hide the truth, right? And that will only bite him in the butt.
Exactly.
Because God won't be mocked and the truth will come out. And that's what's happening.
Can't hide anything, especially when you're at that level. And that's when I realized in the interview, watching it probably 20 times, I was like, oh, he's not interested in the truth. He doesn't care about the truth.
Allegedly.
To him, it's a game. It's a con. He's conning his audience. That's what I believe, allegedly. So,
listen,
his own sister said it. So,
oh, really?
Allegedly,
his own sister, who is a Christian.
Oh, we should.
Oh no, it's not.
We should talk to her.
I can show you. I'm going to put a video on this. I can show you.
Oh, she posted something about this?
Yeah.
Allegedly? Okay.
Posted something, not per se, but she disclosed how she feels about everything.
Wow. Yeah, he was right before all this happened. I saw him I got this ad on Instagram that showed he was doing a financial raise for his company. And he was raising, whatever X amount of dollars. And I'm like, wow, this guy is like actually raising money. He got investors that are doing this. This is crazy. And then this whole video
There's a lot of money behind
this.
Yeah,
he's got to, but listen, he could have diffused the whole situation. What you said earlier, Anton, is spot on. It's his pride is killing him in all of this, if he just, but here's the thing. Now it's out. Now we as truth bearers, right? Because we bear the truth of God and the word of God. We need to talk about Christ being raised from the dead and how, it's true. That is the most important thing in our lives. We can't just, lay down and take it here in this sense here as Christians, because that is our message, is that God is alive, and his name is Jesus. And he did rise from the dead. And millions of people that listen to Billy or, are influenced by forbidden knowledge and all this stuff need to know the truth. Like, this is what we're here. We bring light, right? We're not bringing contentiousness. We're bringing light.
We're in the same business as Billy. We're trying to spread the truth.
Right.
And factually, historically, evidentially, this is the truth. Yeah. Chances are Christ rose from the dead.
Yeah.
So there you go. You're welcome.
That's what I love about Wesley. It's verifiable.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly, man.
Which is what truth seekers do, right?
He did an amazing job. He did an amazing job, and we should all learn more from him.
So,
Wesley's solid, man.
Oh, he's a beast. And physically and intellectually. Okay, so then let's get back to the story real quick, okay? So then the debate gets taken down, all right? Wes is posting that, hey, this actually happened. It was removed. Mark posts a teaser saying, hey, this actually happened, but I had to remove it. And I can remember going into the comments of those videos they posted. Dude, hundreds of people like, you're a liar. It never happened. You're lying. This isn't real. In Wes's comments, because Wes didn't post clips from it. He just saying on Instagram, he was saying, hey, we had this debate, but it's not being released.
Wow.
Comment after, you're a liar, you're a liar, you're a liar. And Mark at one point's like, hey, I feel like I have to stand up for Wes. The debate really did happen. You know what I mean? Because Mark's such a nice guy, man. He probably flipped and started realizing that he's got to stick up for Wesley now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But inevitably, people downloaded it, were commenting on it, reposting it, and the cat was out of the bag. So now, the last thing I've seen from Wes was, I believe yesterday, he posted another letter that he received from Billy saying it was another cease and desist. And if not, that if he doesn't oblige the terms of the cease and desist, that Billy will sue Wesley. Mm-hmm. I don't know what grounds he has to sue Wesley over, because this was just a public
it's America,
forum.
Man. You don't need grounds.
You could sue for anything. It seems like it's lawfare. It seems like it's, hey, I've got more money than you, and I will drag you. Yeah. Okay, and try to basically bankrupt you. Then Wesley said that Billy is now starting to copyright strike a bunch of his videos on YouTube, even though Billy doesn't have the rights to those things. It doesn't matter. YouTube will go with the copyright first and do research later on the matter.
Right.
So allegedly Billy's doing that. So at the moment, somebody seems to be trying to make Wesley's life very, very difficult. Okay.
Well, did you see his post?
Which? Yeah. I was going to ask that. Yeah. Okay. Then, so this is, dude, internet drama, right? But this is real. This is real stuff, man. These are people's freaking lives. Okay. Wesley didn't ask for this. He was just trying to freaking talk to this guy who doesn't know that Sinai Bible is Codex Sinaitica and trying to give him a 101 class on like church history. You know what I mean? And then Billy posts on his channels that Sunday at, I believe at 9 p.m. I kind of want to watch it. So, hey, good on Billy for marketing this thing. Okay. Yeah. But that they're going to respond with the truth of what really happened.
Oh, really? They're doing that? I didn't know this.
Tomorrow they're going to Sunday. So hopefully this comes out.
What Billy doesn't understand is that the fact that he used cancels out his cease and assist towards us.
Oh, nice.
Because now he's fighting back. Allegedly. So
yeah, that does cancel it out.
Justice will be served. And,
what do you think he's gonna say, Anton?
Oh man.
What can you say?
I don't think he even knows. Because if he did know, why would he wait till Sunday?
Do they have like a certain time of day that the show airs every week or something like that? And so he's waiting for that. He could go live anytime he wants.
Well, he could be waiting just to build more hype, because this is a marketing ploy too, and all of this. Like you got to always think.
I mean,
it's
there's a
in his
lot.
character.
So there's a pattern.
There's a pattern.
You can do. I think. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of thoughts around it. Like, is he just playing a game and he's not even going to mention it just to get the views? You know, he's a marketer. Billy's been doing marketing before he was in doing Forbidden Knowledge. He ran a marketing agency.
Wow.
You know, he ran a call center. Like, he knows the internet game. But I feel his emotions are clearly out of whack. So he's probably, I would have to say, probably something more a little bit irrational.
Mm-hmm.
You know, trying to squander the truth of what happened, make it look like, you know, because he was pulling the racism card with us and all types of stuff. Like, oh, it's two white dudes ganging up on a black guy. Like, come on, bro.
What?
Really?
What does that have to do with the cyanide pipe?
Literally, exactly. He's getting emotional, right? Like,
well, no, but it's it might be emotions, but it's also it's smart because it's
yeah, like Billy's smart.
He is a smart guy, you know. Don't
put on Joe Rogan being an idiot.
Right. If there's a
Joe
way,
Rogan has had questionable guests, but you know,
yeah, but if there's a way he can just try to minimize this, maybe that's his approach. Is I'm going to do whatever I can to water this down as much as possible so that it fizzles out, and maybe that's his approach and whatever. But I'm interested to watch it too.
I felt like gaslighting.
Yeah, it's kind of like gaslighting, right?
Think about it. I mean, he said the fake debate. Okay, not true.
Right.
So you're pretty much already lying to your followers in the thumbnail, allegedly. So what could you possibly be conjuring up? I mean, this is the definition of gaslighting.
Right.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of comments on my video like, man, like this one woman went on the paid for his Egyptian tour and whatever else. And when she asked for a refund, he just like put her on blast. She put the whole story in my comment.
No way.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've gotten hundreds of things of people
saying, nasty,
man. You scammed me here, there. I mean, this is a whole nother video. I don't know if it's necessary, but there's so much.
Wow.
There's so much.
It's just nasty. That's just a nasty thing to do.
This is what I find curious. His whole thing is about enlightenment, about loving each other. We're all one people. We're all part of God. We're all okay. So there's that whole like kind of new agey angle, right? But then his actions don't necessarily jive with what he's portraying as like his own personal moral motto, even with this example of just trying to hide the truth, right? Mm-hmm. If you really care about the people that's in your audience, you have millions of people that follow you, right? Millions of people that buy your books, okay? You should be grateful that you've learned something new that you didn't know about, and now you can help people grow in that avenue as well. You know what I mean? If that's your calling. But the way he's handling this makes me think that he doesn't really care about that. He's got a different agenda. And there came a certain point, like you were saying earlier, Anton, there came a certain point in the interview where you kind of realize like, oh, I don't really think he cares.
Zero.
Yeah.
I forget what moment that was for us, Dennis, when we were doing like a live reaction to it, but we said the same thing because the only options here are he doesn't know he's lying or he does know he's lying and doesn't care, allegedly, and there was a point in the video where you realize like, oh, dude, he doesn't care. He doesn't care that he's lying. That was my opinion. That's how I felt too. Do you think that the interview with the guy, the Tim, what was his name? Tim Story. So that interview was actually scheduled to happen?
Not that I know of.
Oh, really? He just did Billy just throw that out that, hey, I was supposed to talk to Tim?
Yeah. He's like the one Christian person. I think Tim's a Christian. I mean, he's got to be based off what Billy said. I met Tim a couple times. But I don't know what kind of Christian he is. I mean, he could see Jesus through the lens of the Gnostics. Well, that's not
right.
Orthodox Christianity,
Right.
that's a blank, it could be like a Joel Osteen vibe. There's
Totally.
a lot. I don't know, but I never looked at Tim's teachings. I've met him a couple times, but this in these circles, like this is the thing people don't understand is like, just because Mark is affiliated with Billy doesn't mean Mark has watched all of Billy's content. I ran his dang social media. I didn't even watch any of his content. Like that was my team. Like, you're an entrepreneur. You're trying to like, hey, this guy's, like you don't really look too deep into it. And I'm not saying that's right.
Yeah.
But I think people's guards go down when you say, oh, look at all these people he's around. Clearly, he must be legit. Look at how confident he talks. Clearly, Billy's clearly a better researcher than me. So I got to
totally. That's exactly what happens.
For sure.
But people put their guards down. I mean, this is what happened to me with the whole Gnostic Gospels. It was like they speak so confident about this, quoting Gnostic scripture, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, wow, like maybe I don't know something. Clearly, you're smarter than me. You've done the research.
Yeah, charisma goes a long way.
It just sure does. And then you put your guard down and now you're receiving a doctrine that isn't sound.
Yeah.
And believing it for it as truth.
Because when Billy said, like, hey, I've got this agreement, or he allegedly said, I've got this agreement that this debate will infringe on, I was like, dude, what Christian guy agrees to debate Billy Carson, but then puts together a contractual document saying you can't talk about Christianity with anybody else?
It doesn't
Who the heck would do that? I've never heard of anything like that.
No, he's grasping at straws, guys. Like he's got no.
I was actually going to reach out. I am going to reach out to Tim. I have his number. I talked to him. I'm going to reach out to him. I was going to do it yesterday. There's been a lot going on, but
for sure.
Yeah, Anton, you're the glue in all this, man. You're the,
no.
Well, he didn't even mean to be. Like,
no. But it's a good thing because you were the almost like a catalyst, like to get it all together, and then it just kind of went on its own way. It's not, you didn't do anything with that, but that's why that's why I'm stoked to have you on here today.
Yeah, bro.
But
how are you doing, bro?
Yeah,
I'm so tired, man. I haven't slept good like in 2 weeks. It's been overwhelming. I didn't think when I was making the video, it felt like God was really working through me. It was like, you gotta go hard. And that could have just been my mind. I don't know, justification for maybe some resent and just being misled by these people my whole life. I don't really know. I prayed about it a lot, and I've been praying about all of this since the beginning of this year, about everything, not just Billy. Billy's very small in this whole domino. The video I made yesterday about my testimonial, I wanted to put that out probably like 3 months ago, but I just didn't, because I was just like, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know. Like, I don't want to. I'm still learning about Christianity. Like, I don't want people to start looking at me like I'm some spiritual guide for them, because I am not. And I'm like scared to even go this route, because I don't want to be forced into like being an influencer when I like only have read the Bible, the New Testament, a handful of times. And, I'm learning and I'm taking it very serious, and I meet with my priest regularly, and so it's a lot of pressure in a lot of ways. And I think a lot of people are relying on me to expose more people, and I want to do it. And I've been actually working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes, not even bringing it into the Christian side like I did with Billy. Like first I exposed him, and then I exposed the Christian stuff. So that first exposing, if you feel, I've already done with other people. And I've interviewed victims, and I got it all, man. But I'm just like, wow, it's bigger than me, and I'm actually terrified. If I'm honest, I'm really scared. And I mean, I'm grateful that I have Christians that I'm sure are praying for me, and I'm absolutely, my priest is praying for me. But like, sorry, it's just it's dark, man. It's so dark, and
it's spiritual, so Anton.
Sinister. Yeah, and I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy what I had to go through. But I feel like I went through it for a reason, and that's what gave me the courage to do the Billy video. So I don't know where this is all going to go. And it's in God's hands. I'm not using my will. I am a horrible God. I tried to be God my whole life. That's what I was told I was, and I am not God. and I don't know how to do this life properly because I'm messed up. So I'm just leaning on God to guide me and trying to be a better human being. And this all got thrown in this mix really fast. And I'm like, dude, my videos almost got 100,000 views. I'm like, wow, like I'm like freaking out. I'm like, this is big. I'm having family reach out to me. Like, I'm like, wow, this is insane. It was absolutely insane.
You got thrown into the deep end, buddy.
Yeah, really fast.
It is bigger. This is bigger than all of us, you know, and this is bigger than, and even Wes and Billy, you know, this is about truth. And this is our job as believers to, when we said this earlier, to endure through all of this and to keep going. And we'll be praying for you, Anton.
Absolutely.
100%. And I'm so glad to have met you, to get to this point. I know Ben's itching has something else.
This is, you're literally watching spiritual warfare unfold on YouTube. That's what this is. That's literally what this is.
And that's why I tried to give these people the benefit of the doubt my whole life.
Yeah,
no more.
No.
They aren't, allegedly, they're not right in the head. There's something deeply sinister about all these people.
It's darkness, man.
And
it is demonic.
Figure it out, and you can't try to love it for what it is, because as soon as you put your guard down, you get stabbed, and they twist the knife while they're doing it, and they don't care, and they're cold.
Yeah, it's demonic, man.
It's demonic. It is demonic, and it's insanely terrifying.
Yeah. Well, we're, like Dennis said, we're definitely praying for you, for Wesley, for Mark. Is Mark okay? How's he doing?
He's struggling, man, if I'm honest. He just sent me a voice note this morning. He was crying on it. I mean,
oh my God.
It's also some grace tears. Like, how is this happening? This is insane. But also, man, like, it's like his son's birthday today, you know? I can get emotional. Like, it's just, why? You know, sometimes I wonder, like, why? Why is it so dark? And I know there's a bigger reason of it, but it's really hard to comprehend, if I'm honest.
Think about, okay, listen, we know this as Christians. Everything has a spiritual component to it, right? There's nothing neutral in this reality. Either Satan's at work or God's at work, right?
Yeah, literally.
So think about this, Anton. Think about the millions of people that have some kind of connection to Billy or his organization, that believe in the things that they say and tout. Think about how Satan uses that in millions of people's lives, okay, spiritually speaking. Think about that. Now, 3 guys, you, Wes, Mark, are going up against the spiritual forces that are at work in those millions of people's lives, because they don't want this to succeed and lose grasp on the souls that they've got captive. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's so dark. That's why it's so heavy, is because this is a big battle. You 3 have been at the forefront of this. You kind of remind me of, did you guys watch Game of Thrones?
Yes.
No?
Okay.
Hey, when Jon Snow's like in the battle and he's just swinging and there's so many people fighting in the battle that he gets like squeezed up to the top, you know?
Yeah, I remember
You guys have been at the forefront of this for the past couple weeks here, and you've been taking the brunt of it. But there's just as many, if not more, Christians that are about to like come up behind you guys and start supporting you guys, start praying for you guys, start interceding for you guys, donating to you guys, whatever it takes, because Christ will not be mocked. Okay. And this is a spiritual battle that he will win. It's impossible for him not to win. We love Billy Carson and his wife and the people around him. We're not here attacking him, piling on, trying to defame him, trying to shut him down. Not at all.
It's actually the opposite.
Not at all. We love the guy. Right? We freaking love the guy, and we love the people around him and the people he influences. What we're doing at this point, we're on the defense. You guys are on the defense because he has escalated it so heavily that what else can you do but defend yourself, you know? But the Christian community is behind you guys, man. I speak for myself. Hopefully I speak for Dennis and our listeners. The amount of prayer and support that is coming your guys' way, take heart in that. You know what I mean? Take courage in that. Don't give up. Don't let him bully Carson you. Stand up for what's true, and you guys will be supported and rewarded, spiritually speaking. Guys, you heard, oh no, a sticker. You heard it all here on Menace the Menace. Definitely keep Anton, Wes, Mark, and Billy in prayer. God willing, this just blows over. God willing that he softens Billy's heart, and something he just says, forget it. You know what I mean? And that there's reconciliation. God willing that that's where it goes. If not, we need to come around you guys heavily with the Christian community. So definitely keep you guys in prayer. And Dennis, were you going to say something?
Yeah, God willing, I want to say something different with God willing. God willing that Billy sees the light and he sees the truth. And just imagine for a second, guys, if Billy Carson comes to know Jesus through all of this and what would happen in his life and with his giftings that he has, right? The Lord gave him with his speech and just his demeanor and all this, like he's got so much good, right? There's a lot. That's what attracted me to him too. That's what makes me listen.
Too.
You said that, Anton, earlier. I was like, yeah, I'm like, hey, who is this guy?
Dude,
right?
I have some of his books.
Yeah, right. So but imagine, and I think that's what we should be praying for as a community. It's like, hey, it's not just to win the legal battle, right? It's to for the Lord to change lives through all this. And imagine what we'll do to those millions of people that have been influenced by him, like how you said, Ben. Imagine what that could do for the kingdom of God. It could bring so many people into a relationship with Jesus through this. And what you're going through, what you're experiencing, Anton, right now is persecution, right?
Oh, for sure.
That's why you're so heavy. That's why you're not sleeping that well. This is what you're doing. And so, but what Ben said earlier, you will be rewarded spiritually and beyond what you can think or ask, right? This is what Ephesians 3 says to us. So, stay strong. Keep close to the Lord, keep focused on him through all of this. Yeah. Don't get distracted, as much as you can. Just try to say, God, I need your strength. Go to him for strength. Or as they say, we come before his throne boldly to receive what? Mercy and grace and help in time of need, right? That's what we need right now, Amen. Anton. And you're not alone in this. You have new friends now and even our community. And we're we're not just happy that you came to talk to us about this. We're happy that this is kingdom work and we're doing it, right? This is more important than anything else right now is this kingdom work for the Lord. And let's keep showing his light and his truth through all of this, man. I'm super stoked to see where this is going to go. Yeah. And listen, if we could talk to you again, maybe in a couple weeks or 3 weeks, whenever after the holidays or something, like anytime, it would be great just to get some, see how you're doing. And we'll be checking on you, personally too. So, but
it's a little overwhelming for me.
I bet, man, it's a lot.
It's really hard to comprehend. I mean, I know when I was going through a lot of that dark stuff, I was like, always have faith. I was like, one day it'll all make sense. One day, I can get through one more day.
Yeah.
And I said I can get through one more day for years.
Dang.
Yeah. And you can.
And
of course.
I just, not that I question, but it's so big and dark. And I know a lot. And it's just very overwhelming. But I also see what Jesus has done in my life so quickly.
Yeah,
dude, you can't even fathom it. And I'm like, wow, this is what spirituality should feel like. And it's like, again, I have such a soft spot for the seekers, right? The New Age, the occult, the Hinduism, the mystical aspects of this all. I get it. And those people, they really have a love for God, believe it or not. They have a love for capital T truth, and they're just being misled right into hell.
That's exactly right.
Smile on their face.
That's exactly right, Anton.
It's God, and I did that for years, and I got behind these people, and I've literally misled indirectly, and I don't have a lot of shame for this. Some people saw my testimonial, and they think when I cry, I'm crying because I'm shameful. Don't get me wrong. It's like a sense of like repentance of like, dang, I really messed up. But it's a sense of grace. Like, look what's, I guess, happening because of this. I can't deny God's mercy. Like, it's insane. And when I did like my first confession with a priest, and I like told him, because I was baptized Catholic, but I was not a practicing Catholic growing up. So I can do that sacrament technically. So I went and I did my like a confession, and I like just went off, and I was like, oh, and I just like broke down because the mercy I could like, and I know some people have like mixed feelings about that stuff. Like, you don't need a middleman to God. And I believe that, but there was something because of how like spiritual pain I had. There's like, God, man, like just the mercy of God to like just forgive like that.
Yeah.
You don't gotta do anything. You just gotta turn away. And I think that's so liberating, because like everyone in the new age is trying to like reach up to God. Reality is, God came to us.
Yes.
He came right to us. And all you gotta do is put your faith in him, and like the rest figures itself out. And it's scary as hell when you've gone through the dark stuff, but the battle already is won.
Yeah.
You realize how much he loves you, Anton. I could see it all over you, man. It's written all over your face, man. It's amazing.
So, it's so overwhelming. Like, I just want people to just, you don't even got to believe in Jesus. But if you call yourself a truth seeker, just consider it. Just consider the text. And that's what I did. And I was terrified, because I was like, if this is true, I'm screwed. And the opposite has happened.
Right.
I wasn't screwed. I was saved.
Yes. Amen.
So it's like,
well, that what you experienced is what you're facilitating right now for, like we said, possibly millions of people. Like that you're on the forefront of that battle. Even though it doesn't seem like it just seems like some YouTube BS drama between some guys that are influencers or have podcasts. Spiritually speaking, you're on the forefront of possibly introducing a lot of people to what you just described. You know what I'm saying?
I've had so many friends reach out that have gone to my past events and other things I've done, and they have, their seeds are planting, and that's all I got to do.
That's
and
right.
God does it through me. I won't even say it's me, right? But there's a spiritual element to this all. And I just, like, there were so many Christians that planted seeds with me for years, and those started to germinate once I got closer to the faith. And it was like, it just like the dots start to click, and then the scales removed from your eyes, and you're just like on your knees in awe that it's true. And, a lot of those people are under a lot of warfare. So these spirits will do whatever they can to keep them away from that.
Yes,
so, it's just like, I'm just going to plant seeds, share from my heart, and let God do the rest.
Don't stop, Anton.
Amen.
Don't stop, man. No matter what, don't stop. He'll get you through it. He's always with you. He doesn't he's not from a far distance like, don't stop, Anton. No, he's like right there, He's like, don't stop, Anton. Don't stop, Anton. We got this, man.
And even as you're talking and sharing, the sunlight coming through your window, you'll see in the recording onto the side of your face, giving you this like heavenly glow. It's awesome. Beautiful.
I saw it too, man. I was like, oh my gosh, look at it.
It's happening.
He's shining on him right now, man, because he loves you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Man. Anton, thank you so much for being here, man. Thanks for sharing your story and your involvement in all this, man. And keep us posted, man, please. And we'll be following you. Everybody that's listening to this, please show Anton some love, man. Go and how can they find you? What's your handle on IG and YouTube?
Yeah, just Anton Wisbiski. I don't like, some people are like asking me for coaching. Like, I'm not selling anything. Like,
right. Yeah.
I'm not here to do that.
No, just focus right now.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get closer to God, be with my family, run my business and facilitate stuff like this.
Yeah. And you're gonna be posting some good stuff too coming up too, I'm sure. So we'll be following you, man. Thank you so much. This was great. I'm so happy we did this. This is great.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys for sticking around. Support Anton, Wes, Mark, and Billy with prayer, and like, share, subscribe, whatever, all that stuff. We'll see you guys on the next one. Love y'all.
Oh. I'm sorry, I was so excited.
Allegedly.
That was so cool, man.
Allegedly excited.
No, I'm genuinely excited.
Dude.
That was great, man. What a great dude. Yeah.
29 years old?
I know.
What was I doing at 29? Not getting into freaking spiritual warfare with these dudes.
Dude, how cool was it though with the light? I saw that too. It's like totally shining on his face as he's talking.
I'm gonna put in music. Crying. That's like
it was beautiful. I was like, I wonder if I've been seeing this right now. This is amazing.
Oh, I saw.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that was cool, man. Glad we got that set up.
Guys, these are just people. They're just normal people. Imagine if like you woke up one morning and had opened up an accidental can of worms that is like blowing up.
Right.
And you're just like, I just wanted to go to work and like hang out with my kids, you know? Right. But this is the time for these guys. So we absolutely need to come around them with support, you know, prayer, absolutely, with prayer and intercession for them. Top priority. He also is dealing with like personal stuff at night, like dreams and stuff, probably attacks of the enemy. So
for sure,
we absolutely need to come around them. I wouldn't be surprised if Mark and Wes are having, you know, similar responses and reactions emotionally and stuff. Absolutely be praying for these guys.
This is a big deal. This is not just some drama. This is the word of God, you know, like being either presented correctly or not, right? Like this is all about truth.
Are we part of like the modern day YouTube equivalent of the Council of Nicaea right here? Are we?
Ben, you can think whatever you want in that pretty little head of yours.
No, this is a big deal. This is a big deal.
This is a big deal.
We're defending truth, man.
Well, it's a big deal because you see what's happening to them in their alone time at night when he's sleeping. Like this is a spiritual. This is spiritual warfare, and this is not of flesh. Yeah,
that's how you know Satan's threatened.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
if he wasn't, these guys would be sleeping like babies.
Exactly, man. Nothing would be going on. That's why he's so riled up. That's, you know, Carson. That's why these guys are being attacked. And it's our job as a community to come across, around these people in prayer and in support and speech and comments. You know, this is how we win this social media space, is by commenting and sharing and talking about this stuff, right? Like if you just watch it, that's great. You get it for yourself. But if you want to be a part of this and help, go, you know, post these things, share these things, go to Wes's place or Wes's account, share that stuff, go to Anton's account, share that stuff, you know, send them messages, comment on their videos and say, this is the truth of God. Like, let's stand up and let's be a community. Let's live in the kingdom. Not just watch it and move on, you know, because then we're just as bad as the enemy in a sense. He doesn't care if we just watch it and don't do anything, right?
Yeah,
he doesn't care that you go to church, right?
We're the body of Christ.
Exactly.
Right? So when we're going to war, when one of us is at war, we're all at war.
We're all at war, baby.
So you guys, everybody needs to participate in this war however they can. You know, I'm saying war like hyperbolically. Don't freaking start posting stuff that I'm calling for murder and shit.
It's spiritual warfare.
It's spiritual warfare. Dude, also please be praying for us. It just dawned on me that we're in it too. And I don't know what's going to happen spiritually or, you know, legally.
Yeah. No, everyone, listen, this is all on me. This is all my fault. This is all on me. Ben had nothing to do with this. I scripted everything. He had nothing to do with it. Come after me. Ben's good. He's just.
I was manipulated.
He was manipulated by the nis in the Ben-is.
Oh my gosh. And, dude, but yeah, what a great time, man, with this guy. I'm so grateful for him and for what they're doing. I literally can't.
Yeah. Go show them
Can't
some love,
explain
guys.
it. Dennis.
Yeah.
I think we have to. We might be small beans in the council, the modern Council of Nicaea, but I think we have to do we have to start a GoFundMe.
Let's do it, man.
We have to raise some funds for these guys.
Let's do it. I mean, Mark already allegedly.
There's already money involved that has been spent. People are already in the hole regarding funds.
Yeah.
So even just making them whole,
right.
Would be great, but I have a feeling this is going to keep going, and it's going to require more and more.
Yeah.
The Christian community is known for being generous. I mean, we're called to give at least 10% to God, His church, His mission, whatever He's doing. This is part of the war.
This is a way. Yeah.
This is the war effort right here. So I think we should absolutely do something to raise money for these guys. And whatever happens, God willing, this blows over, it doesn't get used. Maybe we refund it. Maybe we make people whole that have already spent money. Maybe we donate it to whatever causes they're fighting for. Right. I'm sure Wes is doing plenty.
Yeah.
And it requires funding. We'll see when we get there, but I really, really do feel called to do something to raise funds for these guys.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it for sure. So we'll post a link either to this video or to another one that we do.
We're not going to keep anything. We're not doing anything like that for ourselves.
It's all passing through. That's all. It's just going to them. And we'll keep you guys aware of that too. If we do raise money, we'll let you guys know what we do. But yeah, if you feel led to do that, pray about it and ask the Lord. And if He can bless you, bless those people through you, be a part of the blessing, But yeah, great. Let's keep an eye on this and keep posting and sharing and commenting, and that'll help. That'll help a lot. If you can't give, do that, because that supports also. So, but let's help them out.
For sure. I want to have people tag folks that need to be made aware of what's going on with this whole scenario. I'm talking about maybe like popular pastors, that are outspoken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they should speak up and say something on this. This is a big deal.
They should post something. They should make audiences aware of what's going on. I would like people to tag the podcasters and influencers that gave Billy a platform to spew his lies. They should have somebody like Wes on to set the record straight if they care about truth, like everybody claims to. You know
totally
what I mean?
Agree with that. It's good.
And unfortunately, by Billy's own doing, if any of those platforms hear that Billy is suing or threatening to sue, allegedly, guests that he's debated, I think that's a big no-no in like the podcast community and in the content creation community. Why would anybody talk to Billy Carson ever again?
Yeah.
If you say the wrong thing during a conversation with Billy Carson, he will possibly, allegedly sue you.
Right.
Good luck ever getting another guest to talk to you.
Yeah, he's hurting himself so much more. It's crazy. It's insane. But you know what? That's okay. That's just, the some people fall on their own sword sometimes. So
you heard it here first, folks. Buenos Manos.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Like, share, subscribe.
This is great. And we'll see you on the next one. We got another upcoming guest coming up. Really great. It's going to be awesome. We got actually a few.
We've got a bunch. Yeah, this is a busy end of the year.
Yes.
But
so stay tuned, guys.
We are turning our attention heavily to this because this is popping up right now.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about it again, and we'll keep you guys updated. So stay. If you want the latest news, just go to our YouTube and Instagram. And where else are we on? Rumble?
We're on
Spotify. We're on Twitter. We're everywhere.
I don't know, bro.
All right, we're done. Thank
you.
We're I got to go run errands now.
I have to go to the bathroom. Thank you. God bless you.
All right, guys.